Hello, good afternoon. This is Diecast Loon. I hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to another episode of Vintage Matchbox Mondays. And as it says in the title, I've found some. Well, this is the first of this year's car boot finds. I've actually managed to get to a car boot sale and pick up a couple of three interesting pieces. These are more. Well, a couple of the pieces are a little bit more worn than I would usually pick up. So I suppose you could say one of them's bordering slightly play worn, but and the other two are probably more what I like to call the survivor car. Like I said before, it's how I group my cars: is there's play worn, there's survivor, and there's obviously mint in box. But anyway, the couple of pieces I've picked up are very interesting to me. There's a few reasons that I've picked them up, and I'll explain along the way. So we'll get straight into it. We'll look at the best piece first, or should I say my favorite piece I've picked up, should I say. This is going to be mentioned a little bit later, that's why it's there, so we'll come back to that. So anyway, the first piece is the number 10E, named the Piston Popper, or Piston Popper, which is this. And like I said, this is in what I call great survivor condition. It's pretty much all there. It's got a little bit of rubbing going on the chrome part of the engine, but that's not too bad. This car is from the early 70s, so you can excuse it, and it's obviously been played with, but it's managed to survive, hence why I call some of the cars survivor cars. And like I said, I tend to go for the cars I tend to collect now. When I go for cars, are either mint in box or survivor cars, and to be honest, I think I prefer the survivor cars because they've got a story to them. But this is a cool piece, and obviously the reason it's called the Piston Popper is because the pistons do pop up and down. Now this particular car, they class this as a Matchbox, as a Rollermatics Superfast. But when you push it, it doesn't really roll like the Superfasts. It's because it's basically based on a Superfast vehicle, hence why it's called the Rollermatics Superfast. And I've got quite a few nice Rollermatics in my collection, so next week I might actually get out my whole Rollermatics collection and do a bit of a Rollermatics showcase, because you don't see Rollermatics come up that often, really. Everybody tends to do the older vintage Matchbox, and they tend to do the mid sort of age Matchbox and the modern Matchbox. But so I might do a video just solely on Rollermatics. But anyway, that's what this is, the idea. Rollermatics, you can see Rollermatics, and it's because as it rolls it does something. But anyway, very cool car. Haven't seen one in this condition for a long time. As I've said before, you can buy these online. One of these in box condition fetches between about £30 and £40, and I'm happy to have found this one, and I got this for £3, which I think is worth it. It's in, like I said, it's in really nice condition and doesn't even need a clean. So great find. And I did have one of these before, but it was in really terrible condition, so I restored it. Well, resto modded it really. I just cleaned the scratches out the glass, gave it a coat of this awesome green paint. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice. Repainted this, gave it a bit of detail. So it's technically a custom. It's not really a restoration because it is different to what it was when it was new. But this was in a real sorry, battered state. And this is one of the, not the first, but one of the first cars when I first started doing customs and restorations back in when I first started. This is one of my very first pieces that I did when I was trying to decide whether I wanted to get on the restoration route with cars or wanted to get on the custom route. But because this was so badly damaged, I just did what I did with it. So I've got a resto version now and a nice original version. And as you can see, it's based on what looks like the Boss Mustang. I believe this is possibly the 71 Mustang shape. I have another Mustang, just to give you an idea of the similar casting. Obviously it's a different casting, but it's the same sort of car. And I think the Vantastic as well is based on these castings. So there you go. So that is the number 10E named piston popper. And like I said, these were produced, or at least this was produced, from about 1974, I believe, up to about 1979. So that's the first piece that I found. Now, just bear with me. The second piece that I come across was number 7D Hairy Hustler, and it's this. And again, I had excuse me, got a bit of a tickle. I had another version of this because they do these in a few variations, which I will show now. So there's some of the other variations of this, and I had one of the white ones, but it was in really, really terrible condition. And I'm starting to really get into some of these sort of novelty cars, so to speak, not licensed, not real cars, these sort of made up cars from the 70s. They've got that real 70s vibe going on. I'm getting quite fond of this yellow glass and all that good stuff. But anyway, the reason I picked this one up is apart from the fact it was £1, it was on a lot of cars for £1. It looks like it's an error car. Excuse me. And after a little bit of research, these wheels should be there. The front and the back wheels were these type of design. These are actually smaller, so they've got the wheels wrong, and as you can see, it's not being tampered with. I don't know why anybody would tamper with it to swap the wheels around, but you never know. But it hasn't been, so it's actually a Matchbox error. That doesn't mean it's worth anything. I just thought it was interesting, and I thought I'd pick it up, as I have a few cars from Matchbox now that back in the day, the quality control, this must have slipped through. But it doesn't matter, because it still would have rolled really well. And it's only when you really look closely you notice that the wheels are different. They should be on the back and they should be on the front. They used to come in this combination, but the other way around. And it's not in too bad a condition. It's got a few chips and dings, but it's got its paper stickers, and that's the main thing. And also, so this one came out in 72, produced from 72 to 1975, and the one to look out for is I think it's the green, bronzy green metallic base, I believe, which this isn't, but that is the variation that apparently everybody is after. So cool find for £1. So that brings me to why I bought out this. Now, this is probably one of my favourite Matchbox pieces. Actual fact, I'm probably going to go as far as to say, which is very difficult, this is probably my favourite Matchbox piece in my collection, because this is not the piece from my childhood, but this is the exact same piece from my childhood. So it has a childhood interest to it. As you can see, it's in pretty much, well, mint condition. This is the BMW, and I believe it is the, let's have a little look, BMW 3 litre CSL, but I wanted to show the factory defect. So this isn't the defect that's happened after factory, this is a defect that's happened before painting, because if it was, it would have been cracked. But you can see there's no issue with the paint. There's no way you could have dented that without breaking the paint. But that is a perfect example of a mint car with a factory defect. So that technically, again, doesn't make this car worth anything. At least I don't think it is. Excuse me. But it makes it unique, because how many of these had a squished quarter-light pillow? Pillar. God, I really ain't thinking today. Yeah, how many have had a squished pillar? So pretty cool. So I just thought I'd show that. I've shown it before, but I just thought whilst I'm showing Matchbox defects, I would show that one. Anyway, the last piece is, I'm just trying to look, number 28F, and it is the Lincoln Continental. And again, I got this one from £1 from the same place that I got the other one. So the first one I got from another seller. His cars were a little bit better condition, and then I got these last two, should I say, so this one and this one, from the same seller at the same price. And again, this one is in remarkably good condition, not too many chips, obviously got a tarnished base. This top's not looking too bad. Usually these yellow really badly, but very cool. And this is a piece again that I like to wait until I come across it. This is an acceptable condition, what I call, you could class it as play worn, but again you could class it as a survivor car, but for the money you can't complain. Again, so this one was made from about 1978 up until about 1980, and I'll show you some more variations now to look out for. So there's some other variations that are out there. I'd like to find the Coca-Cola version of this, but you never know, one day. But anyway, so that is today's video. That is today's finds. Like I said, didn't pay a lot for them, which was cool. First car boot sale of the year. Hopefully I will go to many more, because at the moment the weather here is so rubbish that if it rains the car boot sale won't be on. But what I will do next week, I think I'm going to do a Rollermatics episode next week, so stay tuned for that, because I've got some really cool Rollermatics in my collection. I won't probably show them all because I've got about 40 or 50, but I'll show at least, I'll do a good 20 or so, and they're all pretty much near mint. And I'll talk a little bit about the Rollermatics, how it came about, and I'll show some of my favourite Rollermatic pieces. But anyway, with that, please like, share, subscribe, stay tuned for more Vintage Matchbox Mondays episodes and all that good stuff to come. And with that, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Take care.